Hi guys, welcome back to Sorcery TCG UK. We're based in the UK, hence the name. Today I thought we'd do something cool. We'd jump into some of the auras. This is one thing that we haven't touched on. I think we've pretty much touched on everything else apart from magic and auras now. We might have done a little bit of magic. But yeah, it's super interesting. Let me grab the avatar they work with. They work with Well, they can be played in all decks, but they specifically work with the avatar, which reads: whenever you cast a spell, you may animate target aura until your next turn. It's an aura minion with power equal to its cost. So how that works? This is the Enchantress. It's a one here. So how that works is this will come in as a 5/5 because it costs 5 in the top left corner up here. So I thought we'd pick out some of the better auras and try and build a little deck. I pulled some to the side already just to see um, what I could come up with and have a little read over them. A lot of cool water ones. So affected non-ordinary sites are flooded. They are water sites. They provide water threshold and lose all other abilities. Genesis, submerge all minions and artifacts atop affected site. So essentially, I think you stick this on one of theirs, you flood it, and it becomes a water site and only provides water. So you can mess your opponent up mana wise with this. And obviously, it's a 5/5 when it flips with the Enchantress effect. Let's see, Atlantean Fate. But it's kind of good for 5. I just don't think it does enough in what we want to do. There's two of these actually. There's Blizzard and there's another one in, I think it's Sandstorm. So let's read this. Affected sites and units atop them can't be attacked or intercepted. And it's not an instant, so you play it on your turn. At the start of your turn, dispel Blizzard. So for one whole turn, throughout your opponent's turn, your minions and the site can't be intercepted. So you can walk freely. And they can't be attacked either, which is cool. As once again, I just think these one term things are just not good enough because it's at the start of your turn, isn't it? Effectively, it can't be the start of your turn. Yeah, I just don't think that's good enough. Coming up to a first one that is good enough. Each affected site provides one additional mana, so it becomes a mana rock that can also turn into a 5/5 in the Enchantress deck, which I really like. I definitely think this is worth running. We've got Drought here, which is a sideboard card, 100%. Affected sites aren't water sites and provide no water threshold, which if you side this in against a water deck, I think they're going to be crying. We've got Entangled Terrain, Earth Site, Earth's Aura. Minions accompanying affected sites lose airborne and are immobile, and this lasts 3 turns. Tangled Terrain. This could be useful. This could be useful, depending on. I think I ended up taking it out of the final list just because we wasn't running enough Earth cards to make it viable. But you could play a more heavy Earth build and have this in, because this is still tactics all the way. Then we got Flood. Affected sites are flooded. They're water sites, which would work amazing with the pirate ship. Um, and that's a 4, so it will turn into a 4/4. Uh, Coming up to our first super strong one. So this is part of the combo that I'll be showing at the end with the Enchantress. You may summon spirits to affected sites. When you summon a spirit here, give it charge, which is haste, so it can tap and attack on the first turn, and return evil presence to its owner's hand. So I really like this card because one, you're giving all minions haste, and two, it bounces back to your hand, which could be seen as a bad thing, but later on in the game, this isn't bad because you can actually replace it wherever you want and then get a new trigger somewhere else. So we're going to pull that to the side. That's actually in our deck. Mariana's Curse. I wanted to put this in just because it's super good, but it's based on you have to have water sites, Whenever a minion hits an affected water site, submerge it and return Marina's curse to his owner's hand. So they'd have to go around you if you built up over to them, which is good. But it does return to your hand, so you get another chance to play it. But you have to run a water site to make it truly effective, and I just don't think that's viable when we want to add some of the other more powerful stuff in, like the haunted, the evil presence, replication, elite. Oh, it's in magic. What's that doing there? Elite aura, rest in peace. Whenever a spirit or undead minion occupies affected land sites, borrow it. So, and it's 5, which is quite expensive, but it will give you a 5/5. And once again, it's in Earth, so if you was playing an Earth build, I would suggest having this in the sideboard. I definitely think this is a sideboard piece. Once again, this is another one that is just, this is going to be in our final list. It only becomes a 1/1, but that's not why we're using it. I'll show you why we're using it at the end. You may summon the minions to affected sites. So yeah, summoning sphere for 1. Put it somewhere, and you can summon minions there. Super good, and it's part of the unfair combo that I'll show you at the end. What do we have here? Silence. An elite aurora. Minions accompanying affected sites lose all non-basic abilities. I think this will get better as time goes on, like some of the other cards in the set. But yeah, for now, just a nice sideboard piece. Here's the Sandstorm, which is the red equivalent of that blue card we saw. Blizzard. Affected sites, units atop them can't be attacked or intercepted, and then at the start of your turn dispel it, same as before. Thunderstorm, this made the final cut. I really like this. So essentially it deals 3 damage to target site, and it keeps moving around the board until it deals 3 damage again, and it deals 3 damage 3 times. Randomness, let's say. May funds 1 step after it deals damage 3 times to spell it. Sorry, I was just calling the card off the top of my head then after reading it earlier. Yeah, so it bounces around until it does 3 damage and then to 3 times, and then it goes away. I really like that card. What do we have here? Wall of Air, which I think was the weakest one out of all of them. Conjure top site you control, minions with airborne or 2 or less. Power can't traverse the Wall of Air. Once again, you potentially could sideboard it if they want to go in with like a heavy air strategy, but I don't know. I just don't think it's good enough for main board. Wildfire, we ended up putting them in. This is really interesting. Conjure Wildfire atop single site nearby, so you do it like close to your avatar. At the end of each turn, each unit here takes 3 damage. Then move Wildfire to an adjacent location it hasn't visited before. If it can't, destroy it. So it will become a 4/4, and it also has the effect to bounce around again. It's like the red version of Thunderstorm, essentially. Wall of Ice. This is like the bread and butter of your deck, and it's ordinary, so you can search it out with common sense. Conjure a tough border of site you control. Units can't traverse Wall of Ice on the ground. So you could build a big wall, and then they all turn into 2/2s. I really like that strategy. And the fire one, whenever a unit passes through Wall of Fire, it takes 3 damage. So these two are like the bread and butter of the deck. And that is it. So let's come to the left here, and I'll just show you what I've built quickly. So there's the Men of Lang. You could have this as the Jester or the Men of Lang. It doesn't actually matter because we are running the water. So with these 3 here, same as I showed you in the YouTube short, things we can do with fling, just flinging. Summoning sphere and evil presence. So can you get Men of Lang over to your opponent as quick as possible and attacking? And them losing cards is a big deal when you only draw 3 to start. It's a big deal. You've got common sense to search out your... Well, I messed up here. Yeah, you've got common sense to search out your ordinaries, pieces of combos, and your bread and butter down the bottom. Maybe we'll top this up to 2 on this abundance here. Got your shackles as a bit of control. You got your devil's egg for an alternative win con just to chip them away. Maybe if you built up a wall with these guys across your sites, and then you just chip them away with the Devil's Egg. You've got your fast mana, and I thought about throwing in this Doomsday device because once again we can throw minions at them. We've literally got 4 minions, and then we've got all these that can become minions. But I think the Doomsday device is really cool. Being able to throw that over to them, or place one of your auras, and do something funny with the Doomsday device. And I think using the auras is a good way to get it over to them. Right, and then you've got your common senses to search, shackles, your fast mana. Yeah, that's it. It's pretty simple. As we're getting closer and closer to the release now, and I've covered more and more stuff. We're seeing patterns now of what is the good cards, what are the strongest cards in the game, or at least in my opinion. There's certain cards that I just would not leave out of decks now. I was so attracted to Lightning Bolt at the beginning of the game, but it's kind of just faded now. Just like let it fall behind. This fast mana stuff, I definitely think is going to be amazing. But I don't know. One last thing before we go. I think I'm going to be starting a Patreon just to help support the channel and keep this alive. Um, I'm gonna update all my YouTube videos to include that in the bottom, and just starting with the lowest tier of just being able to unlock all this extra content that I'm gonna write up and record for the Patreon. On the higher tiers, I think I'm gonna do some stuff where we can actually just like sit in a phone call on Discord and just talk sorcery for an hour or so and play some games, and you can ask me questions about interactions and cards and rulings and stuff. And yeah, just a great way to support the channel. But thank you for watching. Peace out.